Okay, this is the upper field. There's a person, and there's a parking area up here that's relatively flat. You can see that's Carla down there, and that's Daniel trying to catch a football. It's a large area on about a 5% grade, so the lower part here is probably fairly flat. Down here, there's a bunch of picnic tables that we usually sit at for family reunions. It's in a grove of old sweet gums and oaks, but it's all nice in the shade. And when we do our little Iron Chef stuff, all of the grown-up weeds and stuff here will have died down in November. But you can see we've got probably enough picnic tables here for 100 people. There's a shed down there with some golf carts. There's a lower field. I thought we'd camp more in the lower field and park all of our equipment up here in the upper field. So, alright, so this is the lower field where we usually play softball and baseball during the family reunions. Again, we're on the other side of the picnic area, and you can see how big it is down here. There's a huge flat area here, probably big enough for 50 or 100 tents. It's flat up here around the shed. Again, that's looking up toward the house on the hill where cousins live. And that's the old bathhouse that doesn't quite work anymore. But there's a ton of flat space here to camp. But I'm going to take you to where the primo camping is, that I think is probably where we want to go.
So this is just to show the depth of how big this field actually is. This is Dad. He's going to throw a ball all the way down there to Daniel. Throwing of the ball. John C. And not catching of the ball.
Turn around.
Just a little food for thought here. You see that house between these two trees? Well, back when this was an actual official campground owned by my great uncle, that used to be the store where you could play arcade games, you could buy anything you needed. But now it's just someone's house.
This is the nice camping area. Big flat spot down in the shade. If it's really cold, we can go up and camp in the field where we'll get sun on us, or if it's rainy, we can camp up in the field. There's a little trail going up here, up toward the bathhouse where Carla's walking. We'll go up there, walk back toward the car. It's another view of the shed and the big field. And that's the bathhouse, spot for potties, path up. We're going back up to the car now. There's a lot of good trees here if people wanted to do some hammock camping. Lots of room here, lots of room in here. You could probably do 20 or 30 of them. We're back where we started with the car. We're gonna walk up the trail to see the other part of the campground. This is a look up at the top field. You can see how big it is.
And that's a relative's house.
And it's flat enough here to, we could even put tents here. You could literally camp 200 people up here if you needed to. And that's nature. Abby is on the trail to the track rock, which is a cool, we think, which is a cool old Indian petroglyph rock. Where
It's not usually this overgrown.
If you go up the hill for about a quarter of a mile, you can get there. It's either this trail or the one up there, but when it's November, we'll be able to check it out. So there's a little Indian history around here too. And that is Hickory Nut Campground. Lots of stuff going on. Good place for family reunions and just sort of hanging out. And we're about 3 miles from Unicoi State Park. See ya.
And there you have it, Hickory Nut Campground. This is a beautiful area surrounded by many attractions, including Tray Mountain, Unicoi State Park, and the Chattahoochee River. But this camp also has many attractions of its own, like the Indian Track Rock and the pond. The pond, we found out, was full of fish and is a great place for beginners to learn to fish. Get closer to nature at Hickory Nut Campground.